Coming up, Joey Votto hits a big home run for the Reds, and the Astros avoid a disastrous loss. This is Locked On Game to Game MLB.
Every game, every team, every angle. Locked On Game to Game, your team every day.
Welcome in. You're listening to Locked On Game to Game MLB. Local experts join us to recap all of the action for you from yesterday across Major League Baseball. I'm your host, Kainani Stevens. Thank you for making Locked On your first listen every single weekday. The Chicago Cubs lost a heartbreaker yesterday. They blew a 6-0 lead to the division-leading Brewers in Milwaukee. Locked On Cubs recaps their third straight loss for Chicago.
Cubs led 6-0 early. They lost the game 8-6. Biggest series of the year, needed to take 3 out of 4 to really make a dent in this race, and they blow a 6-0 lead in the first game of the series. Questionable managerial decisions once again, terrible pitching, tons of walks. The offense did nothing after the first 3 innings, and put that all together and you have your 2023 Chicago Cubs. I don't even know the guy's name that hit a 3-run double to effectively win this game from Milwaukee. Devastating. The
Astros blew a lead yesterday as well, 8 runs to the Rangers, but then they stole the win back at the last second in Texas. Locked On Astros goes over a wild one with plenty of offense.
Hey guys, happy early 4th of July. The Astros just clinched a series win, 3-4 in Arlington. You want to talk about fireworks. This game really, I think, is a tone setter for the rest of the season going into the second half and coming home for several games before the All-Star break. What a game. Kyle Tucker, Chas McCormick. I mean, everybody at the plate did their job. Jose Abreu with the big bomb at the end. Chas McCormick with his glove. Despite Christian Javier's continued struggles with his fastball and being susceptible to the long ball, the Astros offense holds down and holds off a charging Rangers offense. The fireworks are coming early today on the latest Locked On Astros. If you didn't catch us live, just make sure you become an everydayer. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And don't forget, this Friday, we got a special live event. Listen to our show to see where. Y'all have a good one. Go Astros.
Joey Votto hadn't got a hit in his last 21 at-bats before he hit a go-ahead 2-run home run yesterday against the Nationals. Our Locked On hosts are here to tell you about the rest of the game.
The Washington Nationals lose 3-2 against the Cincinnati Reds. Ryan Clary from Locked On Nationals here. You can catch me over on Twitter at RyanClary11 as well. Jake Irvin in tonight's game went 6 innings pitched, gave up 3 earned runs, and that big 2-run home run from Joey Votto to really open the gap and have the Nationals lose 3-2. But there are some bright spots because Jake Irvin actually did look really good, in my opinion. I think besides that home run ball, the guy only gave up 1 run after that. I mean, Jake Irvin tonight was relatively very good. And when you're going up against a lefty like Joey Votto, that's always a tough matchup. But again, the bigger picture scenario here is the Nationals bullpen didn't give up a hit, and they also didn't give up an earned run tonight. This Nationals bullpen has started to really turn it around, highlighted by Jordan Williams there, but it was fireworks night tonight. The Nationals, unfortunately, not too much fireworks going on in the Navy Yard.
Coming up, the Braves get win number 9 in a row. This is Locked On Game to Game MLB. Today's edition of Locked On Game to Game is brought to you by Gametime. Buying tickets last minute should not be difficult, and it should not be expensive. The Gametime guarantee is for you. It means that you will always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less somewhere else, Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference. So download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, you can create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Welcome back. You're listening to Locked On Game to Game MLB. I'm your host, Kainani Stevens. The Braves' 8 All-Stars won their 9th game in a row on Monday, taking down the Guardians in Cleveland. Locked On Guardians has more after they took the loss.
It's the July 4th holiday coming up, and there were some fireworks in Cleveland. Unfortunately, they were only after the game and during the game, as one firework was accidentally set off when Michael Harris took Gavin Williams deep in the Guardians' 4-2 loss on Monday to the Braves. No surprises. Justin Laticos, the Locked On Guardians. The Braves came to Cleveland, and they did what they do best. They had 3 home runs. Other than that, Gavin Williams pitched pretty well, kept him in the game, pitched around to the 7th inning, which is good to see. One bad pitch to Michael Harris and one to Marcell Ozuna. Harris hit a second home run later in the game. It was a much better pitch, but still a home run nonetheless. Imagine that, a center fielder hitting 2 home runs in a game while the Guardians center fielder doesn't have a home run in 2 years. But regardless, the Guardians will send Shane Bieber to the hell on Tuesday. Josh Naylor left the game with some right wrist soreness. Keep an eye on that. Can't afford to have their second best hitter out of the lineup too long. Braves will send Kobe Allard to the mound, a lefty, on Tuesday against the Guardians. Locked On Guardians back in your feed Wednesday. Have a safe and happy July 4th holiday.
The Twins scored 5 runs in the 8th inning to break a tie with the Royals in Minnesota, and Locked On Twins has more after the offense came alive late.
Edouard Julien's first pitch homer in the 8th inning gave the Twins a 4-3 lead, and the Twins tacked on 5 runs total in the inning on the way to an 8-4 win at Target Field. With the win, the Twins moved to 7-1 in the season series with the Royals and are now up a full game over Cleveland in the Central. Joe Ryan gave up a homer on the first pitch of the game, but was otherwise solid, going 6 innings with 2 earned runs and 9 strikeouts. Carlos Correa reached base 4 times, and Willie Castro reached 3 times as the Twins struck out just 7 times as a team. And for today's stat that you won't see anywhere else, this was just the 3rd time the Twins scored at least 5 runs in any inning of a game in the 8th or later. The other 2 instances were a 7-run 8th in a 9-4 win at Toronto on June 10th, and a 7-run 8th on May 14th in a 16-3 win over the Cubs. We'll have a full breakdown on Tuesday. This is Locked On Twins.
The Padres put up 10 runs, and Mike Trout left the game with an injury, so Locked On Angels has plenty to figure out after a loss to the Padres in San Diego.
An underperforming team full of superstars gets right against the Angels as the Padres defeat them 10-3. What's going on, everybody? John Frisch, one half of Locked On Angels. There was a moment after the game with Shohei Ohtani walking through the dugout, and he puts his bat away, puts his helmet away. The helmet falls out of the cubby, and Phil Nevin kind of catches it. And as he turns around, he looks off into the distance ponderingly. Good. Because Phil Nevin, this is on you. Your lineup construction with guys going 4 for 16 with runners in scoring position, your approaches at the plate, your ability to make the worst bullpen calls of all time by bringing in a rookie against the heart of the Padres order and using one of your best relievers as a long relief guy in a wasted game. Mike Trout has a wrist injury. Phil Nevin, you need to wake up. And you need to put the best players on this field. Mike and I are going to break down this game for you on Locked On Angels. Please join us.
That's it for this edition of Locked On Game to Game MLB. As always, we thank you for making Locked On your first listen every single weekday. Make sure you're subscribed to Locked On MLB and your favorite team's Locked On podcast on YouTube and wherever else you get your podcasts from. I'm Kainani Stevens. This has been Locked On Game to Game.